Namaste. My name is Gopi. I'm the Managing Director of Woodtech Consultants Private Limited. We're a Bangalore-based company supplying all kinds of woodworking machines. We also have a branch here at Jodhpur where we stock machines for supplying here. I have been associated with this industry for quite a long time, more than 25 years. And I still remember the early days when I used to walk in the streets of Jodhpur, when Jodhpur was just getting developed into a furniture hub. In 2001, I remember I used to walk in the streets of Jodhpur, meeting every factory, because the factories in those years were very small, and they did not know about the modern machineries that were available for manufacturing. And I used to walk into every factory and give them, introduce the machines, give them explanation about how they could use this machineries and technology to upgrade their manufacturing systems. And in fact, in those years, most of the machines were coming from Europe, Germany and Italy and so on. But people were not able to afford those machines in those years. They were very, very expensive. I mean, they were good, but they were expensive. So we went to Taiwan. We brought in machines from Taiwan, the technology from Taiwan, which was affordable, which people could buy. And a lot of small industries started to buy, and the big exporters started to buy these machines and started using these machines, and were able to benefit. And that's how this industry started growing from 2001. So I've been witnessing a great growth in this industry, Jodhpur and across India. I travel across India and most of the furniture factories. I visit myself and I've given them guidance on developing their production technology, production techniques, and also supplying machines. So I've also some interesting subject to show you all about what are the challenges we face as the industry in exports, because we have to, Jodhpur has been exporting furniture for the last 20-25 years with a lot of challenges and overcome many challenges over the years. So I'm going to talk about the major challenges what we have across us in global marketability of the furnitures from here, and how they can address these challenges and overcome these challenges to be able to compete in a better way in the global market. So Jodhpur, I call it as Foshan of India. I don't know, many of you know about Foshan in China. Foshan is a city in China which is known for furnitures. I mean, there are a lot of furniture factories located in Foshan. So Jodhpur is the Foshan of India. Many furniture factories, there are not so many, I mean, across India if you see, Jodhpur has the maximum number of furniture factories in the entire India. Small, medium, big, large scale. So that's how I call it as Foshan of India. So you are in the land of Foshan of India, which can create a global mark across the globe, like how Foshan is known across the global globe as a furniture city of the world. So Jodhpur can also create that name in the global map for furniture city of India. So we are one of the India's leading supplier of woodworking machines since 2001. So the goal here is to make India a global furniture manufacturing hub. We have the opportunity, we are at that stage where we have very good opportunity to establish India as a global furniture manufacturing hub. Why? We have a low-cost labor advantage compared to any other country. I mean, okay, Vietnam has cheaper labor than us, but they have their own challenges. But considering countries of this size, with with more than 1.5 billion, population. We have the low cost labor advantage, so which is very apt for furniture manufacturing, because furniture manufacturing involves a lot of labor. We need a lot of manpower to make furniture. So we have that advantage as the first thing. And differentiated furniture design capability, though at a lower scale. I mean, we are not at a very large scale, but we have a furniture design capability. A lot of people like Marcus who have given a nice presentation about furniture design. So basically people like them, and there's so many other people have contributed to the design that we have here in India. The furniture that are made here are completely different compared to the furnitures that are made in China, Malaysia, Indonesia. So we have that design capability. The only thing that we don't have is a large scale manufacturing. So, preferred location by top global furniture buyers today. A lot of furniture buyers across the world prefer India as the sourcing hub, sourcing place for various reasons. One of the main reason is that the entire global community, the sourcing community across the globe, mainly US, is adopting a strategy called China plus one strategy. That means most of the furnitures today, what US or Europe is importing, they're all importing from China. And looking at the global geographical system, geopolitical system, they are trying to find an alternate destination for manufacturing their furnitures or sourcing their furnitures away from China. So the first country that comes into mind is India. So in that whole thought process of having a China plus one strategy, India plays a very major role. And we have very good opportunity. Of course, we have a lot of challenges, but we are at the right time to grab this opportunity and make India a global furniture hub. And another reason is hunger for business, younger generation. In the recent past, I've been meeting a lot of younger people, young business community, young entrepreneurs who are hunger for business in India, who want to do something in our country. So this is another advantage, which, like when I travel across the globe and people in developed nations, the hunger is not there in developed countries. India, as we are developing now, the younger generation has the hunger for business. So this is another, opportunity and advantage we have as a country. Startup entrepreneurs. India is also known as, apart from US, the second largest country having a more number of startups. So the lot of startup entrepreneurs in India are also getting into furniture manufacturing. In the recent past, we have seen companies like Wooden Street, companies like Wakefield, many other companies who have created an online platform from nowhere and become the largest furniture selling companies in India. So we have that, the entrepreneurship mind among us, among the youth, among the younger generation, which is also a greater advantage for us to reach to this goal of being a global furniture manufacturing hub. And on top of all these things, we have a stable and strong government. As you see in many countries in the world, the government changes quite often, and you see a turmoil, political turmoil. The economic situations are not good. So we've been very, very stable. We've had a very stable government, very stable economic situations in the last, I would say, 15 years or so. So that actually is also very apt for us to move towards this goal of being a world's top furniture manufacturing hub. So the challenges, we have our own challenges in reaching to this goal. What are the challenges? We are very uncompetitive in furniture. Very, very uncompetitive in furniture, right? Everybody would agree to this. Because We have raw material uncompetitiveness. We don't have so much of wood in our nation. We are largely we import wood. That's one of the challenges that we have. Inefficient manufacturing system. Our manufacturing system is very, very inefficient as on today. There are, there are some exceptions. There are some certain factories follow efficient manufacturing system, but in large, we have a very inefficient manufacturing system. The scale of operation. We are not able to scale up for various reasons. We still remain a small factory, largely to do with challenges in terms of, I'm seeing people want to scale up their production, scale up their operations. It takes 3 years for people to scale up their operation in India. Whereas in other countries like China or in global nations, they double their production, they double their scale in just 6 months. Because, as Mr. Bharat Dinesh, who was here, also said about the cost of land, industrial land, is way too expensive here in India. Very, very expensive. So that genuinely, if someone wants to start a manufacturing unit, land is one of the most important thing they need, which is unfortunately expensive in India. So I would urge the government officials to address on this and to see how the MSMEs can get the industrial land at an economical price or at affordable price so that they can scale up. Apart from that, we have inefficient logistics system, unskilled, untrained manpower. Our manpower, we don't have a trained manpower. We have whatever little we have, the factories start employing them. So there are many people who do not have knowledge about manufacturing furnitures, very unskilled. In the recent past, there is Furniture Fitting Skillings Council has started training people. So we have a very largely unskilled, untrained manpower. This is another challenge that we have in front of us. No ecosystem. There is no furniture ecosystem in our country. If you go to other countries, if you go to one city, there are like so many different factories which produce one single item and supply to that furniture factory. To appreciate among all this, Jodhpur has a little bit of ecosystem which has got developed on its own in the last 10-15 years. There are people who supply only raw material as a wood. There are facilities which only does chemical treatment and seasoning and supplying to export factories. And there are some small factories which supplies only a particular product. But that is not enough. That's not enough for the goal that we would like to achieve. So it's important to create an ecosystem and create awareness about the ecosystem that is required for manufacturing furnitures, and also the supply chain. Our supply chain, we are very, very inefficient in our supply chain system. Someone wants, because if we have to stay very competitive in the global market, we need to get things done very fast. We need to get things very fast. Suppose if one furniture factory need to get one particular item, it will take minimum 3 days or 4 days for them to get. Whereas if they can get that in the same day, the production can happen on the same day, and they are able to export that furniture much, much faster, and thereby increasing their volume. Okay. So the supply chain needs to be addressed. The supply chain needs to improve in our country if we have to reach to that level. Logistics, as I said, inefficient logistics. A place like Jodhpur already has a disadvantage of not being near to the port, because any export factory has to be near to the port, so that you have that advantage of saving the land transport cost. So we are already in terms of very uncompetitive being inside the land, and we are almost like 500-600 kilometers away from the port. So we have that disadvantage. So the logistic has to improve in India, or else the factories have to move towards a port, the port cities. So these are the challenges that we have. I'm just putting it across to the people so people understand this. How do we address this? How do we overcome these challenges? Effective use of raw material. I visit many factories across India. People buy expensive raw materials, but they do not understand about wasting that raw material. A lot of raw material getting wasted. So thereby losing our competitiveness, cost competitiveness. Like I visited many factories also in Malaysia, in China, Indonesia, Vietnam. People use even the last bit of wood by doing finger jointing and making it as a large wood, so thereby getting a cost advantage on effective use of raw material, which all of us need to adapt if we have to stay very competitive in the global market. Backward integration in raw material preparation. We have to think about backward integration. Some of the factories which are in large scale have to think about backward integration, go back and prepare raw material on their own and get the systems in place. You know, we need to save wood, and we don't have so much of wood in India. We have to largely depend on imports. So it's important to work on all these factors if we have to stay very competitive in the global market. Because the global market, with so many countries having the advantage, like countries like Malaysia have the largest advantage of having the rubber wood plantations and Meranti plantations. So they are able to prosper. They are able to do a much larger export of furniture than a large country like India. Same way like China. China also do not have so much of wood, but they rely largely on imported wood. But they're still very, very competitive in the global market by using there are a lot of cost-saving methods on wood and efficient ways. The third point is use of modern machines and technology with low-cost automation. This is the key for India if we have to move towards that goal of being the world's global top furniture manufacturing hub. I've seen this industry evolving, as I said in the beginning, that from 2001, where how people started making furnitures manually using small hand tools, small machines, and then they started adapting the machines. Now it is time for us to move towards using CNC machines, computerized machines, which can produce high volume at a high speed, so we are able to scale up our manufacturing system. Use of conveyors and handling system for effective movement of materials inside the factory, because most of the time movement of material inside the factory actually reduces the efficiency of manufacturing, because our labor is not that efficient. The fatigue of labor, lifting the wood, lifting the furniture and moving from one place to another place. So we waste a lot of time and we are not able to scale up our manufacturing or production. So using this system can improvise the production in the factory. Using integrated automated solution. Now with the computerized manufacturing machines, we can use integrated automation systems. We are setting up some large factories in India with a completely end-to-end integrated automatic systems, which can do up to packing, when the packing is done automatic, so that people are able to produce high volumes. Identifying each and every process in manufacturing and process-driven manufacturing in the factory. Most of the time, I've seen small factories do not care about any process. They just think that manufacturing furniture is just planing, cutting and joining and polishing. They don't go deep into each processes involved in that manufacturing. List down the process, break it down and work on each process. How do they efficiently improve the process? How can they perfect that process so that they're able to save time, they're able to, like the automobile industries, your car manufacturing industry, if you see, they would have broken down every small process is detailed. And there are SOPs, standard operating procedures, developed for each process, and people have to follow. It does not depend on skill, it does not depend on people. If one person do not come, if there are 10 people don't come in a day, their production do not suffer. So basically detailing the processes and going deep into each process and working on improving the efficiency on each process. This is very, very important if we have to scale up to the next level. Increased labor efficiency. Labor efficiency are we have labor, as I told you, low cost labor. Our labor is, the monthly, the salary is low. But if you look at it at the end of the day, on the product, our labor cost is high because they're not efficient. Their efficiency is very low. So even though we have a low cost labor, but at the end of the day on the product cost, if you see, our labor cost is very high because of inefficiency. So we have to improve the efficiency of labor by using machines, reducing the dependency on labor. So the process do not become labor dependent. We have to move away from this. If at all we have to scale up to that level. Using machines for finishing, we still finish our furnitures using manual methods. I mean, we have to move away from this, move to the next, using robotics, using machines for finishing, and bring down cost of manufacturing. Every factory has to look at how do I bring down the cost of manufacturing. In other countries, people work on cost per square feet. If you're producing a furniture piece, they break down the cost, how much it costs for me to produce per square feet. What is my cost of production? What is the cost of manufacturing? That is how they are able to stay competitive. So we have to work towards the cost of manufacturing per square feet of furniture. Only then we can stay very, very competitive in the global market. So like I said, scaling up operations to, how do we stay cost competitive? Scaling up operations to manufacture certain preset volume. In India, we have another problem, our mindset. Like whenever a buyer comes, whenever order comes, we try to take everything that they say. Even if they say 10 pieces, even if they say 5 pieces, we take everything. But whereas if you go to countries like China, they have MOQ, preset volume. Below certain volume, they will not take an order. They will say, if you have to buy from us, this is the minimum volume that I need to produce and this is the price. How they are able to do it? Why they are able to do it? Because the cost is based on this volume. So they calculate the cost based on the volumes. So people need to have, like in their factories, have a preset volume in mind. If they have to produce a chair, they have to have this volume saying that I will produce so many chairs in a day, a preset volume. And the process, the factory and process is set for manufacturing that volumes. Training of manpower. This is one of the most important things to overcome the labor inefficiency that we have in our country. We need to train our manpower. There are many factories do not care about training their manpower. People, they just call worker and okay, let's jump. Get into the machine, manufacture furniture. So it's important that if we have to move towards a global manufacturing hub in furniture, we need to train our manpower. So we as Woodtech, we are setting up a training academy in Bangalore at our own place, where with all the most modern machines, we will start training machine operators, carpenters, to work on machines. So this will probably start sometime in next month, from January 2025. The Center of Excellence will start in Bangalore in collaboration with FFSC. And this will be certified by NCVT. We will get an NCVT certification also, so that anybody who gets trained has a recognition. In India, the biggest problem is that today carpenter do not, or a person who works in a furniture factory do not have a recognition. Like in the modern era, everybody likes to say, I'm a software engineer. People say proudly, I'm a software engineer, I'm an engineer, I work in an automobile factory. But whereas the moment if anyone says that I work in a furniture factory, people ask, are you a carpenter? So basically they do not have a respect.
Valorization.
Yeah, the recognition for their profession. This is another thing that has to change in our country. That recognition for that profession is very important, which has to change. Our mindset has to change. If you go to countries like Europe, even a person who is a carpenter gets a recognition. He's called as an artisan, not a carpenter.
has a value.
It has a value, yes. He creates a masterpiece, a furniture piece, which is used in our house. There's a pride in making that. So that has to change also in our country. We should start recognizing people who work in every job in the factory. Not just engineers, not just a software engineer, not just top level CEO. So everyone has to get their due recognition. Only then our country can prosper to the next level. We also have a plan to set up a training academy in Jodhpur. This is just an announcement here. We will talk to various government departments and see how we can collaborate with them going forward. We are open to set up a training center in Jodhpur in the coming year, at least in 2025, which can benefit large factories here where factories can get benefited by getting their manpower trained. And this will be done with a lot of government schemes without any cost, and will come with the NCVT certification, so where everyone gets a recognition by way of certification. So when they move from one factory to another factory, they go with the certificate. So this is also uplifting the community, the working community there, the carpenters. So this as a next step. So we announced that we are ready to set up a training academy here in Jodhpur with the support of various government departments, which we will discuss and take it forward. So by this, I've covered most of the topics in terms of taking our country to the next level of global manufacturing furniture hub. This is just the beginning, and we have a lot more to come. With this, I would like to show some presentation about our company. We also organize time to time exhibitions where we display most of these modern machines. We try to bring in awareness among people, so where we display most of the modern technology machines in these exhibitions. I would like to show you some video also. So most of the people can visit those exhibitions, understand about the machines and the technology in one platform. Exhibition where we display machines.
Because it's India Woods 2024, the largest expo in our country. Also parallelly, there's India Matters Tech Expo which is happening. All excited, right? Yes, I am excited. I'm your host Pramod Kumar. We're going to go inside, we're going to talk to a lot of people, we're going to explore so many things. There's so many stalls set up as well. There's so many people around. You can see that, right? So let's go. India Wood 2024 and India Matters Expo 2024 BIAC Expo. Okay, we are here at hall number 4. We are going to visit L102 Woodtech Consultants, which is India's #1 woodworking machinery providers. So let's go inside and find out. So as we enter the hall number 4, the energy is electric and also the atmosphere is so buzzing because there are people not only from our country, across the globe. And at Woodtech Consultants, they have more than 50 machineries on display and covering around 200 square meters. So we're going to talk to the team who works behind the scenes, and also we're going to test some machineries as well. Let's start. Okay, let's check out Rapid Drill 8128.
So these are some of the modern machineries that are available for scaling up.
From CNC routers to edge banders, every corner is buzzing with activity. Woodtech Consultants, India's largest woodworking machinery supplier, has truly outdone itself with their impressive showcase. Indeed, there is no shortage of innovation and inspiration. that Woodtech has their own seasoning chambers. One product which is creating buzz all over our country. Woodtech Consultants provides woodworking machinery solutions for all types of panel line, solid wood line and surface finishing lines. They have 13 partners in display today. Alright, I'm going to try this latest technology for curve edge banding machine HC2D. Sir is with me. I hope he helps me. Sir. Super bright. Super bright. It just took 35 seconds to complete it. Okay, I'm joined by the regional manager, Mr. Mahesh. He's going to talk about his favorite machine. So let's hear from him. Welcome, sir.
We are thrilled to release our latest range of machines, which includes a 5-axis CNC router, CNC tenoner, CNC motorizer, and many more hyper productivity machines. Now this 5-axis CNC machine makes us possible to make the Italian design chair right here in India. So now you don't need to go to Italy to find the Italian design chair.
Sir, can I take the chair home? That's a wrap for our visit to Woodtech Consultants. It was a day filled with innovation, creativity and endless possibilities. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, your host Pramod Kumar and happy woodworking.